So this term, for a bit of fun, we are going to flash up a picture somewhere in the lesson. Let's see if you can find them. This week's picture, can you try and find it? So you might have noticed that I have a whole lot of items on my table today. That's because I've decided to make some wine. Now remember, wine is just for adults. So I have my instructions here, and the instructions told me that I needed to get some water, some soil, and some grapes. I'm going to get the seeds out of these grapes. Right, let's see. Instructions. First it says I need to plant the seeds from the grapes into some good soil. Okay, let's do that. Good. And now, oh, that's right, I need to water those seeds. Perfect. And now it says that I need to wait. Okay. Guys, nothing's happening.
12 seconds later. Two very boring minutes later. Approximately 10 hours later. A few moments later. A little longer than a few minutes later.
Hello.
More moments later.
Add some water.
Later. Much later. Eventually.
Okay, let me go back and check my instructions. So it says that, what? There's all these stages we have to go through. Planting, watering, waiting, harvesting, crushing, pressing, waiting, fermenting, waiting, more and more waiting. This is going to take 3 years and then another 2 years. Ah, I thought it was going to be quicker than that. I thought I could do it instantly. Ah, wait, let's check out a Bible story where Jesus did exactly that.
Well, there was a wedding in Cana. Jesus, Mary, and the disciples were guests at that wedding. In the middle of the party, the wine ran out. This would have been a very big embarrassment for the bride and the groom and all their families. Mary told Jesus that there was no wine for the guests of the wedding party. You see, Mary trusted that Jesus would save the wedding and told the servants to do as Jesus instructed them to do. Jesus told the servants to fill all the empty jars with water, and they followed his instruction. Then he told them to pour out some of the water that was now wine into the host's cup. The servants took the wine to the host, and he drank from the cup. The host was so impressed and called the bridegroom. He told the groom that usually people serve the best wine first and leave the cheaper wine for last. And then he said, "But you have saved the best wine for now." This was the first miracle that Jesus did.
Remember last week we learned that the purpose of the miracles was so that we would believe. And isn't it wonderful that the disciples saw this miracle just as they were starting their journey with him, and so they believed. This miracle showed God's authority over nature and time. Jesus did it just like this. We can make this water turn into wine, but it takes us over 5 years. Jesus was so generous that he didn't only make wine, he made the best wine that anyone had ever tasted, just like this. So, what did today's miracle teach us about God? Remember the pictures? That's the clue. Yes, that God has authority over nature and time. It's easy to believe in the God of the impossible.
So now that we know about the very first miracle that Jesus did, do you guys think that we should just keep it to ourselves? Of course not. Jesus wants us to go and tell other people that he is the God of the impossible. So here's a fun way that you can do it. You can create this craft, and then you can retell the story. So Jesus was at a wedding in Cana, and there was lots of wine at this wedding. But soon enough, the wine ran out and there was nothing left. So Jesus' mother told the disciples that they needed to do whatever Jesus told them. So Jesus told his disciples to go and fill the empty jars with water. Then Jesus told them to pour some of that water into a cup and go and give it to the man that was in charge of the wedding. And when he tasted it, he said that it was the best wine he had ever tasted, because Jesus had turned the water into wine. So here's how you create this craft. You can either draw or print out a picture of a jar, and then you need to print out 3 layers. An empty jar, a jar filled with water, and a jar filled with wine. And then as you tell the story, you can pick up the different layers. So guys, it's really important for us to go and share the miracles of Jesus with everybody else. Because next week, we're going to learn about a man that heard the story of what Jesus did in Cana, the miracle that he did. And then when he was faced with an impossible situation, he knew that he could rely on Jesus. Because Jesus is the God of the impossible. See you guys next week.